What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Monday, May 3rd.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 10-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I'm going to try to save a little bit of salary here at the pitcher position. I like Aaron Sanchez with a 4% pitching advantage over the Colorado Rockies. I know this pick is a little bit dangerous here, but Aaron Sanchez, he's only giving up a .426 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 5 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Rockies have only hit 4 of his last 27 pitches. That's a 148 batting average. Aaron Sanchez is only $6,800 FanDuel salary, and he's $500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 23.6 fantasy points here tonight. He has an ERA of 2.22. Record is 1-1 on the season. Pitching an average of 74 pitches per game, averaging 24 fantasy points per game. He scored 26, 27, and 26 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Aaron Sanchez here versus the Colorado Rockies. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Max Muncy with a 41% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Kyle Hendricks. Max Muncy bats 17% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .792 OPS versus righties. And Kyle Hendricks, he doesn't pitch that well versus lefties. 24% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a 1.040 OPS versus lefties. And I like this pick because Max Muncy is 3 for 6, batting .500 with a 1.738 OPS versus Hendricks. He's $3,200 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,100 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 10.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 3, 3, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like this matchup. So I like Max Muncy here versus Kyle Hendricks.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
All you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
and then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy.
And we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Jed Lowry with a 34% batting advantage over Steven Matz. Jed Lowry, he bats 7% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .769 OPS versus lefties. And Steven Matz, he throws his worst ball by far to switch hitters. 28% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.154 OPS versus switch hitters. Jed Lowry is $3,000 FanDuel salary. He's $1,700 more on DraftKings, projected at 10.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 16 and 3 fantasy points in the last 2 games. So I like Jed Lowry here versus Steven Matz. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Despite the splits, I like Justin Turner batting against Kyle Hendricks. Justin Turner, he bats 8% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .948 OPS versus righties. Now, Kyle Hendricks does throw his best ball versus righty batters, giving up a .787 OPS versus righties. But the reason I like this pick is because Justin Turner is 4 for 18, so that's only a .222 batting average, but he has a .920 OPS for versus Hendricks. 2 of those 4 hits were for home runs. He's $3,700 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,200 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 12 and 10 fantasy points in the last 2 games. So I like Justin Turner here versus Kyle Hendricks. Now, if you don't want to go with Justin Turner, because, a .222 batting average, in hindsight or looking back at this, is really not that great of a player versus pitcher history. Although he's got a high OPS, it's because of those 2 home runs. And what are the chances of those home runs? So I'm kind of talking myself out of this Justin Turner pick as we speak here. You may want to look at a guy like Ryan McMahon with a 41% batting advantage over Aaron Sanchez. Ryan McMahon, he's batting a .773 OPS versus righties, and Aaron Sanchez pitches his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .824 OPS versus lefties. Now, Ryan McMahon, he is 0 for 3 versus Sanchez, so not a great start. And he's $3,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,500 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 10 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 6, 26, and 3 fantasy points in his last 3 games. Now, I like this pick because Vegas thinks there's going to be 10 runs scored in this game. That's the over-under, so plenty of fantasy points to go around. So I like Ryan McMahon here versus Aaron Sanchez.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, guys, you know what? I'm just not digging these third base picks, and I just noticed Jose Ramirez. I think just if you spend up a little bit more for Jose Ramirez, he's definitely in the best spot here, and he's only $400 or $500 more. So if you can squeeze that salary, I like Jose Ramirez with an 8% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Daniel Lynch. Jose Ramirez, he's batting 8% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.063 OPS versus lefties. Now, Jose Ramirez is $4,100 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,200 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on fire, scoring 37, 6, and 32 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So he's got the best pitcher matchup, a low salary pitcher. He's got the best OPS versus lefty pitchers. He's not much more than Justin Turner and Ryan McMahon. So I like Jose Ramirez here versus Daniel Lynch. Okay, we got the third base position out of the way finally. Let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Didi Gregorius with a 37% batting advantage over Adrian Hauser. Didi Gregorius is batting 10% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .756 OPS versus righties. And Adrian Hauser, he doesn't pitch that well versus lefties. 27% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a .888 OPS versus lefties. Didi Gregorius is $2,900 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,000 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 32, 0, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Didi Gregorius here versus Adrian Hauser. Okay, now if you're looking for a value play at the shortstop position, take a look at Ahmed Rosario with a 36% batting advantage over that low salary pitcher, Daniel Lynch. Ahmed Rosario bats 36% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .790 OPS versus lefties. And Ahmed Rosario is only $2,400 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,600 more on DraftKings. So I love that FanDuel price. He's projected at 8.7 fantasy points tonight. He's only averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's been on fire, scoring 28, 3, and 28 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Ahmed Rosario here versus Daniel Lynch. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Raimel Tapia with a 51% batting advantage over Aaron Sanchez. Raimel Tapia, he bats a little bit better versus righty pitchers, batting a .785 OPS versus righties. And Aaron Sanchez, he's giving up a .824 OPS versus lefties. Now, Raimel Tapia is only 1 for 6 with a .453 OPS versus Sanchez, but I like the splits, and he's only $3,100 FanDuel salary and $900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.1 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on fire, scoring 28, 25, and 7 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Raimel Tapia here versus Aaron Sanchez.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.